There is something called the Marvel method of writing comics. I couldn't write them fast enough, and these artists were so brilliant that I would say to the artists, look, this is the plot I want.
The time they were putting out, this is before the superheroes, and they were putting out, I guess, what we'd call monster books. And he asked if I wanted to write, and I said, I'm not a writer.
Yeah!
I'll hand it over.
And he said, oh, you can write. I read your letters in the service. I started writing those I don't know, what were they, 6-page stories, 8-page stories, something like that. Mostly for Jack Kirby, I guess, and some other Don Heck. I did it in almost like storyboards.
What are you doing? Johnny, no!
And sort of visualize it all. And I would type up a full script, and I gave him instructions, you know, panel 1, this, panel 2, that. And Kirby, I probably didn't even have to say that to, because he automatically would have done it, I would imagine.
He thinks I probably could be a movie director, the way I'm getting into the characterization and trying to depict it pictorially.
There's been a great war of words between Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and their fans.
Whatever we did together, and no matter who did what, and I guess that's something that'll be argued forever, but I think that the product that was produced was really even more than a sum of its parts. I think there was some slight magic that came into effect when we worked together, and I am very happy that we've had that experience.
Well, I was never sorry for it, Stanley. It was a great experience for me. And certainly, if the product was good, that was my satisfaction.
Let me first point out that Stan Lee wrote in The Origin of Marvel Comics that he provided Larry Lieber a plot. Within minutes, I rushed to the typewriter and pounded out a synopsis for Larry. Even though I wouldn't be writing the script, I always try to ensure that the basic concept would be mine. Larry Lieber was a staff writer writing scripts for Stan's plots.
The way we did it was Stan liked his own plots. So he would make up a rough plot, he'd type it out, and he'd give it to me. I went back to my room at the typewriter and typed it up and wrote it. Then I'd bring it into Stan and he'd correct it. And the more he corrected, the more I learned. And that's how I got started in comics.
Comic historian Roy Thomas and Will Murray have documented that Lieber was a staff writer writing scripts from Stan's plots. During his deposition, Larry Lieber stated under oath,
I got the synopsis, the plot from Stan, I wrote the first script of Thor, that was it. The civilian name of Don Blake I made up, and I also came up with his hammer. I made that, which people know about, my Uru hammer. I created that.
Lieber's court testimony was not countered in court or proven false. Lastly, inker and artist Joe Sinnott drew an issue of Thor where he received a full script. In the Jack Kirby Collector 36, Sinnott said,
in those early days about Thor, Jack was working off full scripts.
But that's only half, but that's not the best part of the story.
Okay?
The best part is a few years later, what was it? The San Diego Comic-Con invited me to come out there to get an award for drawing. And while I was out there, I was
drawing or for writing?
Huh?
The award is for drawing or for writing?
For drawing. I think that was the Inkpot Award or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was for drawing. The second award I got later on, some years later, was the Finger Award, the most underappreciated writer. Okay. So anyway, but back to this. So I'm on this panel, and there was, I think Michael Chabon was on it, of all people, and I couldn't see the other people because they were alongside me. And there was a woman on there whom I couldn't see who worked for DC Comics among those people. And in front, there was an audience. So the others were speaking, and when it came my turn, somebody asked me a question. and they asked me, where did you get the name Uru Hammer? You know, and I told them this story just as I've told it to you about making it up and Roy Thomas changing it. It wasn't the correct name for it. When I said that I just made it up, I didn't. This woman who worked for DC, I don't know who she was, I heard her voice say to me, "You mean you didn't know what Uru meant?" I said, "How should I know what Uru meant? I don't. Why?" She said, in the Norse language, Uru means strength, power. I said, "Well, how would I know that?" I said, "I barely speak English. I don't know the Norse language."
I wanted to write something and have it contrast with the comics, but when I wrote Chirps, I had not been reading the comics. I had been doing the strip, Spider-Man, I did it 32 years. And so I wasn't reading comics, and the style of drawing was changing, and I didn't know the new character that Marvel, that the very talented people at Marvel were creating. So I wasn't about to start going through them all. I didn't think I'd live long enough. So I said, I want to pick the most unlikely character. I want to pick a character that nobody at Marvel would ever create, would think of. And that's why I picked almost the smallest of characters, a parakeet that weighs an ounce and a half.
So the parakeet is the protagonist of Chirps.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And he's an inch and a half long with his tail. And yes, that's why I picked the most unlikely character anybody would think of, and had to figure out how to make him my hero.